The class of 2017 had some of the best athletes we've seen in a high school recruiting class. Being someone who follows recruiting as much as I do, I love following the careers of these players after high school and college to see how things pan out. Of course, some of these guys didn't have the college career they were expecting, but a few of them lived up to their 5-star rating. Today, we'll be taking a look at the top 10 recruits in the class of 2017. First off, I have an honorable mention, quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. He's the 32nd overall player and the first dual-threat quarterback. Tua was the number one player in the state of Hawaii with offers from all across the country. He ended up choosing Nick Saban in Alabama. As a true freshman in 2017, he was the backup to Jalen Hurts. Alabama was so good that even as the backup, Tua got a lot of playing time and multiple blowout wins. The career of Tua really took off, and it really changed forever on January 8th, 2018. Alabama was playing Georgia in the national title game, and Tua replaced Jalen Hurts at quarterback to start the second half. He finished the game with 166 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, one of those being the game-winning pass to Devontae Smith. In 2018, Tua led one of the best passing attacks in recent memory. Finishing second in the Heisman and winning the Maxwell Trophy, Tua led the Tide back to the title game. They lost to Clemson by a score of 44-16, but even in a losing effort and coming up short, Tua broke the record for single-season passer rating at 199.4. During the 2019 season, Tua battled injury after injury. His injury-prone season was the main reason Bama missed the playoff. He later declared for the 2020 NFL Draft. He was selected 5th overall by the Miami Dolphins. To this point, just like 2019, his professional career has been haunted by injuries. When he's on the field, though, Tua shows his ability to play quarterback at a very high level. Coming at number 10, Joshua Kendo. He was the third defensive end and the second player in the state of Florida. Joshua is one of the better athletes in this class, regardless of position. Standing at a towering 6'6" and 260 pounds, you could see the physical tools. They were all there. During his freshman season at Florida State, he played in 11 games and recorded 6.5 tackles for loss to go with 4 sacks. I'm sure there was a lot of promise and excitement around the program to see a freshman play this much and have this kind of impact in year one. His sophomore season was very similar to his freshman campaign. Playing in 10 games, he had 4.5 tackles for loss to go with 3 sacks. Sadly, these were the 2 best years of his football career. Injuries were the main reason for his career to have this kind of downfall in such a short amount of time. He would play in 3 games as a junior and 7 games as a senior before ultimately declaring for the 2021 NFL Draft. Selected in the 4th round by the Chiefs, he has only played in 3 games in his first 2 seasons, being listed on the injured reserve for a majority of that time. At number 9, Walker Little, 3rd best offensive tackle and the 3rd best player in the state of Texas. Little ultimately chose the Stanford Cardinal to play under David Shaw. In 2017, he became the first true freshman since the year 2000 to start at left tackle. Between him earning the starting job and having a great freshman season, he was the recipient of Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. Heading into 2018, he was preseason All-Conference. He played every game for Stanford that season and lived up to preseason honors, earning him first-team All-Pac-12. So in his first 2 years, the highly rated prospect was fulfilling expectations. With that being said, 2018 was the last time we saw Little at his best in a Stanford uniform. Early in the 2019 season, he suffered a knee injury in a game versus Northwestern. That injury ultimately ended his year. That by itself is a major setback. Added on top of that, he was planning on returning for his senior season. He then later opted out due to COVID and missed the shortened season that was 2020. After opting out, he declared for the 2021 NFL Draft. He was selected in the 2nd round by the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's played in nearly every game so far in his 2-year NFL career, and as of right now, he looks to be a future option at left or right tackle for the Jaguars going forward. I'd say Little has lived up to his rating, and he did a great job overcoming a lot of adversity. Coming in, ranked number 8, we have Jeff Okudah. He was ranked as the 1st corner and the 2nd best player in the state of Texas. Coming from South Grand Prairie High School in Texas, Jeff Okudah had many options when it came to choosing his college. He decided to commit to Coach Urban Meyer in the Ohio State Buckeyes. It didn't take long for Okudah to get on the field and show what he was capable of. In 2017, he played in all 14 games as a true freshman, recording 17 tackles. As a sophomore in 2018, he played in 13 games and nearly doubled his total for tackles, recording 32 of them. In his first 2 seasons, he was a steady and reliant player in what was a loaded secondary. When the 2019 season came around, the expectations were even higher, and Okudah delivered in a big way. Against Miami of Ohio, he he recorded his first career interception, and that was really a preview of what was to come. Later in the 2019 season, he had breakout performances in the Big Ten championship game along with the playoff. He recorded 34 tackles, 9 pass deflections, and 3 interceptions in his junior year. He was also a unanimous All-American and was a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award, which is given to the nation's best defensive back. After the 2019 year, he declared for the 2020 NFL Draft. He went 3rd overall to the Detroit Lions. So far to start his career, he has been playing through injury after injury, and he has barely been able to see the field. This past year in 2022, he played in 15 games after playing just 9 total in his first 2 seasons. He recorded just 1 interception, and he just doesn't seem to be the same player he once was. Overall, though, I'd say Jeff Okudah lived up to the 5-star rating. Before injury problems, he was one of the better defensive backs we've seen. Number 7, we have Chase Young, second best defensive end and the first player in the state of Maryland. Before committing to Ohio State early in the 2017 recruiting cycle, Chase Young had over 40 scholarship offers from every major program across the country. As a true freshman, the country got a small glimpse of what kind of player Chase Young was. He recorded 3.5 sacks, 18 tackles during the 2017 season. His early production led to him becoming a starter in 2018. Getting that starting role helped Young showcase his skills while having a breakout season for the Buckeyes. Recording 10.5 sacks in half a season, Young earned second-team All-Big Ten honors. His first 2 seasons were great, but that was just the beginning. Heading into 2019, many people thought with the full season, Chase Young could solidify himself as the best defensive player in America. In a game versus Wisconsin, he recorded 4 sacks, 5.5 tackles for loss, and yes, that is in one game alone. He also had a big-time game against Indiana later on in the season. Despite being suspended for 2 games, he finished the year with 16.5 sacks, 46 tackles, and 21 tackles for loss, and an absurd 7 forced fumbles. He now holds the single-season record for sacks in a season by an Ohio State Buckeye. Chase Young won too many awards in 2019 for me to list them, so I'll just put them on the screen for you guys to look at. His 3 biggest achievements were being a unanimous first-team All-American while also finishing 4th in the Heisman Trophy voting. The Big Ten Network also chose him to be on their 2010s All-Decade team. Concluding his historical 2019 season, Young declared for the 2020 NFL Draft and was taken 2nd overall by Washington. He had a very good rookie season and showcased his talents. The moment he stepped on the field, you could see just the talent he was. He was named NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, while also getting selected as a Pro Bowler. His 2021 and 2022 seasons were very limited due to injuries. Nonetheless, Chase Young has lived up to and exceeded all expectations, and I hope he has a fully healthy 2023 season. Coming in at number 6, we have Marvin Wilson. He was rated as the first defensive tackle and the first player in the state of Texas. Being the number 1 interior defensive lineman in the country, Marvin Wilson had the luxury of choosing nearly any school he wanted to. He decided to leave his home state of Texas and join the Florida State Seminoles. As a true freshman, he played in 7 games and on very minimal snaps. He only recorded 7 total tackles and 1 tackle for loss. Things really took off for him as a sophomore in 2018. He saw a huge leap in playing time along with production. In 12 games, he finished the year with 41 tackles, 3.5 sacks, and 4 tackles for loss. Heading into the 2019 season, all eyes were on Marvin Wilson, and rightfully so. In just 9 games, he had 44 total tackles, 8.5 tackles for loss, and a very solid 5 quarterback sacks. His great production and improved performance led to him earning first-team All-ACC honors as a junior. He decided to return for his senior season in 2020, and like many other players, the shortened COVID season really hurt the outlook of Wilson's career. Very low production and very limited games led to him going undrafted in the 2021 NFL Draft. Since then, he has been on both the Browns and the Eagles. He's played in just 2 games so far in his young career. I say Wilson hasn't lived up to his 5-star top 10 rating, but everyone has their own path, and I hope he can find a place to succeed in the near future. Coming in at number 5, we have Foster Sarell, second-rated offensive tackle and the first player in the state of Washington. Foster committed to David Shaw and the Stanford Cardinal. Joining Walker Little, the two became some of the highest-rated prospects we have ever seen commit to Stanford. In 2017, he appeared in 14 games as the backup offensive lineman. During his sophomore campaign, he played in just 3 total games. His season ended short due to a serious leg injury. After overcoming a small role on the team and a very tough injury, he saw his role increase heading into the 2019 season. He started 11 games and performed very well, earning all Pac-12 honorable mention. His talent was finally coming to fruition due to him staying healthy. He returned for his senior season in 2020 where he started each of the team's 6 games. After the shortened season, he decided to declare for the 2021 NFL Draft. He ended up going undrafted, and ever since then, his career has had multiple stops. He was signed by the Baltimore Ravens following the draft, but then was later waived and assigned to the New York Giants practice squad. He was then assigned to the Chargers practice squad. A year later, in 2021, he was waived by the Chargers just for them to sign him back a day later. Since then, he's appeared in 7 total games, which all came at the end of the 2022 season. Overall, I'd say the COVID season and a major injury really hurt his development. Hopefully, he found a new home in LA and continues to see an increased role in 2023. Coming in at number 4, we have Alex Leatherwood. He was rated as the first offensive tackle and the number 1 player in the state of Florida. Things started off quickly for Alex once he arrived in Tuscaloosa to play for Nick Saban in Alabama. In his freshman season, he appeared in 7 games, one of them being the national title game versus Georgia. He stepped in on the biggest stage for an injured Jonah Williams in the third quarter and performed very well. From that moment, everyone saw the kind of talent that Alex Leatherwood was. The following season, he started in all 15 games for the Tide as they went back to the title game. He was later named second team All-ACC. Just like 2018, he started every game in 2019. His outstanding season in 2019 led to him earning first team All-SEC again, as well as being named a first team All-American. He was a projected first-round pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, but decided to return for his senior season. As a senior, he once again started in all 13 games. He was also first-team All-SEC and a first-team All-American for the second straight year. Alex won the Outland Trophy, which is given to the nation's best interior offensive lineman. Following the 2020 season, which saw Alabama win the title, Leatherwood declared for the 2021 NFL Draft. He was selected 17th overall by the Las Vegas Raiders. He had some major struggles at tackle early on as a rookie, so they moved him inside the guard. That move lowered his value to the team, and he was later released just prior to the 2022 season. After being released, you knew there would be teams willing to take a chance on a kid who has so much upside and raw talent. The Chicago Bears made the call, and he appeared in 4 games for them in 2022 after battling a non-COVID related illness. Overall, Alex Leatherwood is one of the best college players we've seen the past couple of seasons, and his pro career definitely has not started the way myself and many others thought it would. With that being said, he still lived up to his 5-star rating and got drafted in the first round of the NFL Draft. Hopefully the Bears give him a chance and he takes full advantage of the opportunity. Coming at number 3, we have Cam Akers. He was rated as the second best running back and the best player in the state of Mississippi. High school All-American with offers to go all around the country, Cam Akers chose to play for the Florida State Seminoles. As a true freshman, he played in all 13 games. He ran for the school's freshman record, 1,025 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns, while averaging just over 5 yards per carry. In 2018, he played in 12 games but saw a massive drop in production. He had 706 yards on just 160 carries while scoring 6 touchdowns as well on the ground. After a disappointing sophomore season, Cam arrived in 2019 with the goal set of becoming a worthy NFL draft pick. In just 11 games, he ran for 1,144 yards while also scoring a career-high 14 rushing touchdowns. After a great season, he earned second-team All-ACC and declared for the 2020 NFL Draft. He was selected 52nd overall by the Los Angeles Rams. He splashed onto the scene as a rookie in 2020. In Week 14, he won NFC Offensive Player of the Week after rushing for 171 yards in the game versus the Patriots. His 2021 season was cut very short due to injury, but 2022 began in a very unexpected way for Akers. He requested a trade and did not play for 4 straight games following the request. After sitting out those games, Akers finished the year off with 3 straight 100-yard games. Against the Broncos, he ran for 118 yards, followed by 123 versus the Chargers, and he finished the year off with 104 yards versus the Seahawks. I'd say Cam Akers lived up to the high standards and expectations coming out of high school. Given how the 2022 season ended, I expect a big 2023 from him. Coming in as the number 2 rated player, we have Najee Harris, who was the first running back and rated as the second best player in California. Being from the state of California, many expected Najee Harris to stay local and go to a school on the West Coast. He had other plans, and he decided to commit to the University of Alabama. As a freshman, he played in all 14 games as the backup to Damien Harris, Bo Scarborough, and Josh Jacobs. He finished the year with 370 yards on just 60 carries. In 2018, he was still low on the depth chart behind Harris and Jacobs. He played in all 15 games, finishing with 780 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. Heading into the 2019 season, Najee Harris was named the starting running back after departures to the NFL. He finished the year off with 209 carries for 1,224 yards and 13 rushing touchdowns. He also had 300 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns through the air. He earned second-team All-SEC honors, decided to come back for his senior season. The decision to come back another year ended up being a great one. He finished his senior year with 1,466 yards and a crazy 26 rushing touchdowns. He also had 425 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns as well. He collected the Doak Walker Award as the nation's top running back, as well as a first-team All-American selection. He concluded his Alabama career as the all-time leading rusher and the leader in total touchdowns. He declared for the NFL draft and was later selected 24th overall by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons to start his career behind an O-line many would consider below average. Overall, Najee Harris absolutely crushed expectations and without a doubt lived up to the 5-star hype coming out of school. Coming in at number 1, we have Jaelan Phillips. Now, being the number 1 prospect in the country, Jaelan Phillips, he had over 40 programs interested in him. He decided to stay home and play for the UCLA Bruins. In 2017, as a freshman, he played in 7 games and recorded 22 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, and 3.5 sacks. Heading into the 2018 season, the expectations were very high for Jaelan Phillips. With that being said, his sophomore season went downhill very quickly. His season ended after just 4 games due to a serious concussion. He later got into a car accident where he was hit while riding a moped. After suffering through 2 serious injuries, he medically retired from football. In 2019, he decided to transfer to the Frost School of Music at the University of Miami. He wanted to start up his career again and play for the Hurricanes. He had to sit out 1 season due to the NCAA transfer rules, but got his shot in 2020. He finished the 2020 season with 45 tackles and 8 sacks. Phillips was named a second-team All-American and All-ACC member. After the season, he declared for the 2021 NFL Draft. Staying local, he was selected 18th overall by the Miami Dolphins. So far in his young career, he has played in every game while gathering 15.5 sacks over the course of 2 seasons. I say given everything he's been through, Phillips has lived up to the hype and looks to be on track for a great NFL career.